Some days, you don't say a word, but your silence screams louder than any cry. You smile on cue, nod when expected, and walk through life as if everything's fine. But inside, chaos claws at your soul. You're not collapsing, but you've never truly stood firm either, and no one sees it except you. Welcome back, Stoic friends. Have you ever felt this way? A calm face, composed eyes, perfect performance, while your mind drags you through hell on a leash. It throws memories like knives, replays shame like a broken record, recites every failure, betrayal, missed shot like a twisted film you can't pause. And somewhere along the line, you started believing it. That you're too late, that you've messed up too badly, that your best days are behind you. You wake up tired, sit in silence, but your thoughts scream, this isn't just anxiety, this isn't just overthinking, this is mental warfare. But the world doesn't see it. They see the mask, the version of you that functions. They don't see the 3 a.m. stare into the ceiling with a brain spinning like a storm. They don't hear that inner voice, relentless, cruel, whispering, you're a burden, a failure, a ghost in your own life. You've smiled through breakdowns, held yourself together with invisible thread, stood strong in public while collapsing inside. But this video, it's not for those pretending to be okay. It's for the ones who are done pretending. The ones dragged down by thoughts they never asked for. Tired of emotional chains disguised as armor, screaming in silence, aching in peace. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." But how do you find that power? When your own mind feels like the ambush, you don't run, you don't hide, you don't numb yourself, you step into the storm, because that's what Stoicism is. It's not toxic positivity, not fake smiles and empty mantras. It's war, calm, cold, real. It's standing in front of the battlefield of your own mind and declaring, I will not be ruled by ghosts. I will not be dragged by lies. I will not die by my own hand. Stoicism doesn't sugarcoat pain, it sharpens you through it. It teaches you to walk through fire and come out as steel. This isn't just a video, it's war medicine, mental armor. A battle cry for those tired of being a prisoner inside their own skull. We're not waiting for peace. We're hunting it. We're not dodging the storm. We're ripping through it, eyes wide open, and by the end of this, that voice in your head, the liar, the chain, the ghost, will be exposed. You'll see, it was never truth. Just noise, just fear, wearing your voice. So don't blink, don't skip, don't look away. Like, comment, subscribe. This might just save someone teetering on the edge. And if you're ready to take back your mind, drop this in the comments. I will no longer be a prisoner of my own mind. Break the chains. Burn the lies. Rebuild yourself from the bones up, not as a victim, but as a force. Up next, habit number 1. Your mind is not a mirror, it's a weapon. We just uncovered a truth. Stoicism doesn't sugarcoat pain, it forces you to face it. And here's where we go deeper. Your mind isn't a mirror, it's a distorted lens. It doesn't just reflect, it bends, it twists reality through the filter of old scars, childhood chaos, heartbreaks and failures. Through that warped lens, you begin to mistake illusions for truth. You think you're weak, you think you're stuck. You think something inside you is broken. None of it's real. It's not truth. It's a trap laid by your own mind. You think the enemy is out there. You think the world is holding you back. Wake up, the most vicious. Battles aren't fought in the streets. They're fought behind your eyes. If you're not armed, you're already losing. How many catastrophes have you built in your head that never existed?
How many dreams did you bury, not because anyone stopped you, but because a quiet thought whispered, "You're not ready"? That voice doesn't scream, it slithers. It crawls into your chest at 3 a.m., feeding on your doubt like it owns the place. And the worst part, you believed it. You handed your mind the blade and showed it where to cut. That's not just self-doubt. That's mental treason. Your thoughts aren't harmless. They're loaded. Every negative loop is a bullet in
the chamber. And the longer they run free, the more you bleed without even noticing. You smile, you perform, you pretend. But inside, your thoughts are tearing holes in your identity, your confidence, your future. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." So ask yourself, what color is your soul stained with? Fear? Regret? Jealousy? Bitterness? But look around. Your life is being painted by the colors inside your head. Want to change the canvas? Burn the palette, grab that mind and forge it in fire. No more mirrors, no more passive reflection. It's time to turn that soft mind into sharp steel. Not soft, not safe, not positive vibes only. Weaponized clarity, surgical precision, cold, calm dominance. That's what a Stoic trains for, not comfort, control. So next time your mind whispers, "You're behind," punch back with, "I'm preparing." When it hisses, "You're not enough." You growl, "I haven't even started." You don't argue with lies. You overwrite them with purpose, with repetition, with force, the kind that rips weakness from your voice and replaces it with fire in your gut and steel in your spine. You don't beg your mind to help you. You grab it by the throat and drag it into discipline, because the world doesn't care if you feel stuck. It keeps spinning. Life keeps punching. And if your mind still reflects pain instead of cutting through it, you'll drown in your thoughts. But if you train it day by day, hour by hour, you stop reacting to life and start commanding it. You stop begging for kind thoughts and start making them kneel to your vision. That's not fantasy. That's warfare. And you are the weaponsmith. Drop this in the comments if it hits something deep. My mind is my weapon. I will train it and not fear it. And don't just say it, bleed it. Because once your mind obeys, the world follows. Up next, habit number 2. Emotional pain isn't proof. It's a message. In the last part, we explored how your mind is your weapon. But there's another force silently forging you too, emotional pain. And if you don't decode the message it carries, it will turn you into something you're not. You think heartbreak is karma. No, it's your heart handing you a blueprint. Pain is the architect of transformation, brutal, honest, unforgiving. But if you truly listen, it will show you exactly where the rot is. Instead of learning, you lie. You say you're fine. You tell your friends you've moved on, but your hands still shake when her name shows up. Your voice still breaks when you speak about the dream you buried. And your silence? It's louder than any scream. Marcus Aurelius didn't write about pain from a balcony with wine and starlight. He wrote from trenches and bloodshed. He said, "Pain doesn't come from the thing itself, but from your estimate of it. And that you can revoke, meaning you hold the blade. You decide whether pain cuts you into pieces or carves you into something sharper. But most people, they don't fight back. They let pain define them. They become the echo of what hurt them. They marry heartbreak. They adopt rejection. And eventually, they stop being themselves and start living as
the scar. But if there's even an ounce of fire left in you, don't let pain speak for you.
Stare it down, rip the message from its throat. Ask, what is this agony trying to teach me? What truth have I ignored? What identity have I outgrown? Because inside that suffering, there's a code. There's a version of you
that's already dead. And it only still hurts. Because you're dragging the corpse. Let it burn. Feel every inch of it. Let it set your bones on fire.
Let it break you down to your knees, but don't stay there. Stand back up, eyes bloodshot, hands shaking, heart wide open, and say, thank you for the lesson. Now get the hell out of my way. You are not your damage. You are not the one left behind. You are not the failure, the almost, the forgotten. You are the fire that survived, and that makes you lethal. Drop this in the comments if you've ever crawled out of emotional hell. My pain didn't break me, it built me. And if your heart still hurts, good. That means it still works. That means you've still got something worth fighting for. Up next, habit number 3, kill the inner narrator that keeps you small. You've seen the voice. You've heard it whisper through your doubt. Now it's time to drag it into the light and end it. Burn that version, rip it apart, expose it to daylight, and choke it with facts. Marcus Aurelius didn't conquer empires by trusting the first voice in his head. He wrote in his journal not because he was weak, but because he knew how brutal the inner war could be. He knew the mind was a battlefield, and unchecked thoughts are traitors. He said, your soul takes on the color of your thoughts. So what color is yours? Faded gray? Lifeless beige? Or are you finally ready to paint it in blood-red courage and steel-black discipline? Here's the move. You don't negotiate with that voice. You don't reason with it. You replace it. When it says, you're not ready, you answer, no one starts ready. When it says, you'll fail, you grin, then I'll bleed forward. When it says, they're better than you, you raise your chin and growl. Good. Let them watch me catch up. This isn't fake affirmation. This isn't standing in front of a mirror saying, I am enough, while your life stays the same. This is rewiring the damn narration, killing the passive tone, replacing it with fire-breathing command. It's about becoming your own commander, not your own critic. Every time that voice shows up, treat it like an intruder. Slam the mental door in its face. Be aggressive. Be surgical. Use action as your
weapon. Every step forward, a slap in its mouth. Every disciplined day, a bullet through its lies. Talk to yourself like a soldier, gritty, raw, but full of purpose. You're not here to babysit insecurities. You're here to build an unshakable core. Kill that voice. Drown it in effort. Strangle it with structure.
Burn it with truth. Bury it beneath reps, books, silence, solitude, hunger, and heat. Break it like a storm splits the sky, without apology. Because that voice isn't just your weakness. It's your cage. And you don't break cages by being polite. You break them by becoming undeniable. You don't need a reason. You don't need approval. You need movement. Action is your sword. Discipline is your shield. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are the sculptor, the fire, the force. Now, take the damn pen back and silence that narrator for good. Up next, habit number 4. Stop asking for peace in a battlefield you won't leave. In the last part, we told the hard truth. Don't ask for peace in a battlefield you refuse to leave. Now it's time to make a choice. Rescue your soul from the rooms that are quietly burning you alive. Because every time you stay in those mental war zones, you're surrendering your crown. You trade your peace for noise, your clarity for madness, your soul for shallow validation. Want to change your life? Then leave the room that's setting you on fire, even if everyone you love is still sitting inside. Want to stop overthinking? Starve it, cut off its oxygen, silence the noise that keeps feeding it, unfollow every face that makes you feel behind. Block the people who drained your light and then laughed at you for going dim. Walk away from conversations that replay in your mind like torture songs. This isn't cold. It's awake. This is war. And in war, mercy to the enemy is cruelty to yourself. Detachment isn't indifference, it's defense. When they call you selfish for choosing your sanity, smile. Because sanity is sacred. And no one gets to rent space in your head unless they bring peace with them. Let them misunderstand you. Let them gossip, blame, distort. You're not living for applause anymore. You're not performing. That stage, you've burned it to ash. You're not soft for walking away. Not broken for protecting your space. You are a fortress now, and peace is the moat. You're no longer begging to be heard in rooms full of noise. No longer bleeding to keep others warm. Let them freeze. You're done handing out fire to people who only ever burned you. And once you finally, truly, walk away from those emotional combat zones, you'll taste something you've never tasted before. Silence that doesn't feel empty, but holy. Solitude that isn't lonely, but divine. Stillness that isn't boring, but alive. You'll sit with yourself and finally feel like you're home. You'll realize peace was never something the world could give. It was a kingdom waiting to be reclaimed. And now it's yours. Up next, habit number 5, you're not behind. You're being forged. In the last section, we learned the truth. You're not behind, you're being forged. And here's what you need to know now. You don't need the world's applause to move forward. You only need you. Real strength is this: standing tall after everything around you has fallen. And that's power. You don't need validation to take the next step. Stop waiting for permission you don't need. You're not a trend. You're not a flicker on the radar. You're a force. And the world never praises a storm before it arrives. Transformation happens in silence. It's built in the dark. At 3 a.m., when you're wrestling with your demons, when you're drenched in sweat, grinding in the shadows, when the world is sleeping, and the only voice keeping you alive is your own. That's the real test. That's where you find out what
You're made of, and the wildest part, no one sees it coming. They don't hear it.
They won't know it until you rise, and they have no idea what hit them. You're not waiting for a green light. The world is too busy chasing fake success stories. They're not ready for your storm. But when you walk out of the fire, unburned, unbroken, unstoppable, they'll be forced to witness what you built in the dark. Your chapter is far from over. This is where it gets real. So stop listening to the voice that whispers, "You're behind." It's a lie. You're not behind. You're in the forge, and when the fire finishes its work, you won't rise as a shadow, but as a force no one saw coming. Keep pushing, keep sharpening, keep becoming. The world's not ready for what's coming. You don't need perfection. You don't need to have all the answers. In fact, perfection is the enemy of momentum. This, right now, is the turning point. No more letting your past mistakes decide your future. No more letting chaos fog your clarity. It's time to silence the voices holding you back. Time to destroy the negativity stealing your peace. Today, you step into the power of your own mind. You train it like a soldier, focused, disciplined, unshakable. You become a Stoic, rooted in the present, immune to the storms of fear and doubt. You move forward, not just surviving, but living with purpose, conviction, and unwavering strength. If this hit you deep, where truth cuts through the noise, don't let it fade. Don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button. Drop a comment. Let the world know you're taking control. Share this with someone still chained to fear. And hit subscribe, because this isn't just a video. This is a call to arms. This is a movement to reclaim lives. Drop this in the comments. I burned my old thoughts to the ground. Now my peace rises from the ashes. Feel
that power. That's you reclaiming your future.